Mr. Moreno.
Thank you, Senator Cornyn, for your leadership in this area. It's very important. I know it's important to your state, and nobody cares more about your state than you do. It's impressive, actually, to watch how much you care about Texas. Mr. Clifford, let's start with you. Let's start on the other side of the world. How important was Israel's basically crushing of Hezbollah? How important was that in this conversation when they absolutely annihilated Hezbollah?
Thank you, Senator, for your comment. I would submit that the initial killing of Hassan Nasrallah dealt an incredible blow to the morale of Hezbollah, because for years, Hassan Nasrallah operating throughout the world, directing his operatives through the external service organization, just almost operating without impediment. So his killing sent reverberations through.
But it wasn't, sorry to interrupt, it wasn't just him, it was the entire leadership structure.
Yes, sir, that's
Hezbollah,
right.
Right?
That's exactly.
So in essence, Israel did America a huge favor by taking down this absolute strong terror network. And I say that to you because I see a lot of hand-wringing here about Israel and not supporting Israel, when in reality, that was a key cog in this wheel. Would you agree? Yes or no?
I would, Senator.
Okay. So let's jump over to you, Mr. I'll just say Marshall, since I can't pronounce your last name. So in Venezuela, is Maduro a legitimately elected leader of a normal government?
No, he's not.
Would you think it would be wise for the United States government to declare Venezuela a state sponsor of terrorism?
I think there's a good argument for that, Senator, but that's a very detailed legal process that Ambassador Sales actually oversaw at the Department of State. But let's be clear, when Maduro stole the election and tried to eliminate the National Assembly, created a rival parliament during the first Trump administration,
but just for the
continued on.
Right, but just for the record, he's an indicted drug trafficker, Southern District of New York. So, Mr. Sales, you were name checked. So I'll ask you, do you think it's wise for the United States government to declare Venezuela a state sponsor of terrorism?
Two things I'd say in response, Senator Moreno. First of all, I think they clearly meet the legal standard.
So it's a yes.
That's a yes. The prudential question is, would making that play right now advance the Trump administration and Congress's interest in Maduro stepping down? I think that's the end state that the president and the Secretary of State are pursuing. Surrounding Maduro with such overwhelming pressure that the alternative for him is, rather than toughing it out, to step down. Maybe state sponsor of terrorism adds to that pressure. Maybe it's a distraction and it forces him to dig in his heels. I'm not privy to those conversations, so I can't say. But to your broader point, they absolutely meet the standards.
How many narco dictators have stepped down in a scheme of history?
Well,
where you're a ruthless dictator, that you starve your people, you absolutely pillage your country of its resources, and then one day you say, you know what, I'm going to go on vacation to another country.
It's a short list, but it's not zero.
Right, so it's not reasonable expectation. But Maduro should know his days are numbered. Would you agree?
He should know that.
Okay, so let's switch over, sadly, to the country where I was born, in Colombia, South America. And Mr. Levitt, I'll ask you, would you agree with me that the current president of Colombia, who will be replaced next year, thank God, is very oddly very pro-Hamas? Why do you think that is?
I think it's an issue of his politics.
His politics or his pocketbook?
Probably his politics. It just plays well for him in the context of the past 2 years and the war and the images people see. My focus on Colombia is less on the politics and more on the tolerance of a significant presence of Hezbollah. And there was a time when the Colombian government was much more active on this, and it is not now.
Well, and again, that's happened over the last 4 years under Petro. So the reality is, when you've allowed a Middle East terrorist group to come in, it certainly plays well to be sympathetic to the same cause that they're sympathetic to. Would you not agree?
I wouldn't say they let him in. They were there for a long time, and
not
part of the diaspora community.
Not at this scale, though. Not at this scale.
I don't know that there has been a upscaling of the Hezbollah presence there. It's been there, and in part in some of these free trade zones like Macau. But I do think that prior to this administration in Colombia, there was a much more concerted effort in cooperation with the United States and others, to address the problem in ways that there is not now.
And Mr. Sales, real quick, Chairman, if you could indulge me for a few seconds. Let's talk about the border. Have you ever seen a policy more idiotic than allowing our border to be wide open when you had all these terror groups flowing into Central and South America, where you have a convergence of drug trafficking, human trafficking, money laundering, and underlying that, legitimate businesses that actually, to the senator from Rhode Island's point, have the appearance of legitimacy, but can be very competitive because, of course, these illegal funds are flowing down. Describe to me, briefly, because I'm going to be cut off here, how insanely idiotic was for us to allow that policy to have gone on for 4 years.
Well, Senator, I think I would say the first responsibility of any sovereign country is to protect your border. If you don't have control over the people and the goods and other things that are coming across your border, you don't have much. So I think one of the most important things we can do for security reasons, for law enforcement reasons, for humanitarian reasons, to prevent human trafficking, child trafficking, is to get full control of our border.
Senator Lujan.